Hey guys, today we show another restoration project I've been working on, and this video is for Chris, who owns this really cool little Moog realistic MG-1. So just going to go up for you, Chris, sure everything's functioning, just give you a good overview. Gave this one the full service. It had some issues that actually took a little while to address. Some resistors had gone out of tolerance, got ready to calibrate the oscillators, and they would not calibrate. I bought them out the scale trim. Turned to be some resistors in the summing node and inverting amplifier associated with the drive of the summing node that had gone out of tolerance, and so it was causing everything to be offset. So addressed that, replaced those resistors, got this thing back in spec, got it calibrated, cleaned all the sliders. I actually pulled the sliders out, took them apart, cleaned them. It was really bad because these have that Moog foam issue, which some of you have heard me talk about in the past. So got all the sliders cleaned up, cleaned the circuit board real good. Just went to it and did a good preventive maintenance, took care of everything that commonly fails, and took care of course the issues it had. And also did a few mods to this one. So one of the mods I did, of course, is the gain stage change. I have selected resistors I put in these things to help the gain stage. And also I changed the range of the detune of Oscillator 2, so now you can go down 2 octaves. Rather than just, you couldn't go down a full octave originally. You could only go almost to a fifth, and that was about as far as you could go on this oscillator. Which brings up, if you look at the range of the octaves, you got -1 and then -2 on this one. So this one's already an octave higher. So you could never get a unison unless you went to 0 on both oscillators like that. So now you can actually go down, get some really good bass tones. So I modified that. I also added an individual polyphonic output because this thing has a polysynth. Well, it's not really a synthesizer, it's really just a divide down square wave that you can get and mix with the monophonic synth, which is actually really cool. I love that, actually. It's one of my favorite features of this synth. And so I added a volume control for that section. If we go around back, I actually I removed the RCA jacks on the back. That's what came with these things, was these little cheap RCA jacks. So you had to have either RCA to 1/4 inch to make this thing work, and it just never did really, work that well. So if we go around back here, you can see what I've done. I actually installed 1/4 inch jacks and added one for the polyphonic output as well as the main output, which is the factory, would be like the factory output. These are not stereo. You'll see left and right. Actually, that's just if you had to hook this thing up to a stereo, which is kind of what it was made to do for the home market. And then auxiliary input was actually just a branch off this so you can have a tape player go in and play along with it. It actually wasn't processed by the synthesizer at all. So just kind of cool. But what I did, took all that out, and then I plugged the holes that weren't used, put the 1/4 inch jacks, just gave everything a good cleaning. And as you can see, this is your serial number, 6489. And like I say, just gave everything a good cleaning so it looks as good as it plays. And I think I'm going to be really happy with it here, Chris. Clean the key contacts, wash the keys, just do everything I typically do to these things. And it just turned out really good. Let me put the camera on the tripod here and I'll walk you through the sounds, let you hear this thing. It's a real basic little synth, but actually it's really cool because now with the gain staging like it needs to be, it's got a good sound to it. So right now we got everything just set up. I'll just play it. So like usual, I'm going to start just with the oscillator section. We'll open this filter up. But now you can hear that nice low. Hear just how great that sounds there. Now we got the oscillators in unison right now, as far as, or not really unison, but the factory detune setup. So we got this an octave higher. So oscillator 1's an octave lower. But anyways, we'll start with the oscillator section. Real simple oscillator 1. You got -2, -1, 0. You got sawtooth and square wave. And you got oscillator sync, which I'll go over here in a minute when we combine oscillator 2. So that's oscillator 1. You can also hear the mixer controls, how smooth they are. So that's oscillator 1, here's oscillator 2. So that's -1, 0, and +1, and then you got you got sawtooth, and you got a, I think it's a 10% duty cycle pulse wave. But now here's where the cool stuff happens. So if we combine oscillator 1 and 2 together, so it's down 1 octave. You can hear that real low end you can get now, bringing that oscillator 2 all the way down. Of course, we got oscillator sync too, so let me change the waveforms to square and so that's your oscillator sync, and that's playing with your detune. You can also go up 2 octaves. So you can kind of hear that range of that detune now. You got a wide range, which is fantastic. I'll also show you right quick the polyphonic section works. So you hear the polyphonic section works. Now that's through the actual original mix. We can turn that down. You won't hear anything. Turn up our new output. That's through the new output there. Turn it down, you can see it. You can see how that works. So that's your oscillators, your polyphonic section. Your noise source works, but you can hear it bleed through just a little bit, just on natural on these things. There's your noise source. You also got a bell tone, which is a ring modulation. So there's your bell tone. We'll go back to the oscillator. You've got modulation. I'll show you that right quick. So we can modulate the frequency of the oscillators. We'll close that filter up now. And I'll show you that the filter will modulate as well. You got triangular wave, you got square wave, and you got sample and hold. So I'll show you that all the waveforms work. This is where the independent output comes in handy, because with the polyphonic section, if you want it in processed by the filter as well, see how that works. So that's your modulation sections. Your glide also works. Also, your filter tracks the keyboard. Let me get the filter set up here. Go down frequency a little bit. That's just your filter you're hearing there. Of course, you can hear just the response to that filter. It's real thick now because the gain stage is good. And I already have this thing turned up all the way. It's down pretty low. We'll combine the oscillators again. Now we'll combine the contour generator for the filter. Then we get those really thump. Because we still got key tracking on, we turn key tracking off. But you just hear how loud this thing is. I wish you could be in person to hear this because it's rattling my whole room. So that's out. We actually got different contour modes too. So right now you can hear even when I hold in a note, it's going to follow the contour. If I select the sustained N, it'll sustain till I let off a note. You got keyed, which basically is going to release just as soon as I let off. So there's key, then you got continuous, which actually bypasses the contour. So you can still hear the contour, but you're always going to have something behind it. The VCA is always going to be open. Talking of that, I'll show you the contour right quick and how well it works. So we'll go, first I'll go with 0 rise time, which is attack, and 0 fall time, which is release. Click. I'm going to get the filter set up so you can hear this a little bit better. Because it has one contour that controls both the VCA and VCL, so you don't have individual contours. So that's max fall time there. We turn that down, and you got rise time. We'll turn rise time. Click again. Turn down the. See, there's your attack time. That's max. Combine the two. You've also got auto trigger. Which is based off the LFO. It uses the LFO as a trigger source. So that's a pretty cool little feature too, just for doing those little kind of drone triggers. A little noise on that. We can turn the oscillators off and also get kind of a drum pattern if we set this up. Get this closed up. So you can hear the noise being processed by the filter. Bring out the oscillator. So you get something like that. So it's really cool how you can get this envelope to slide back to the polyphonic section. One of the things I like to do is put just a real slow modulation on the oscillators. Anyways, you can hear kind of how fun that is, having just a slow modulation. Something else we can do too, because now we got this independent output of the polyphonic section, we can mix the two polyphonic sections, run one through the filter. So you get something like that. It's kind of a phase interaction between the two signals. But anyways, I just want to take a minute here for you, Chris, and show you that this little unit's working fantastic. I'll just give you a good overview of it for anybody else that's curious about this little instrument. And there'll be more to come here very soon. Take care. One other thing I forgot to show you real quick, I'm going to show you this real quick. We're going to go in continuous, and I'll just show you the octave shifts of the oscillators and how well they are together. I forgot to show you this. We'll go to continuous. I just want to show you that real quick to show you the oscillators are actually in unison real well. This is sent back to the factory 0, and I just kind of want to show you that real quick. But anyways, thanks again guys. Will be more to come here very soon.